Last year, I introduced you to the all-new YZ125, but that was last year. The 95 has a ton of improvements to make it an even faster, more balanced machine. It has revalved forks and a new mid-valve.
It's in the middle.
The shock has a wider piston and a Teflon liner for the upper bearing. Teflon, get it? Non-stick for longer wear. The rear brake has a disc guard, and the disc itself is made of a new stainless steel for a better braking feel. Once you get it stopped, crack the throttle open and see what a year's worth of engine development has brought with it. Power, that's what, in all the right places. The airbox has been reshaped to improve airflow. The exhaust port is bigger, and the power valve is closer to the piston for harder hitting power.
Harder hitting power.
Harder hitting power. The new exhaust pipe is a wider cross section and a straighter flow path for more kick-ass punch. The 95 has a brand new 36mm carb for better response. You want to see the fastest way around the track? You're looking at it, the new YZ125. Allow me to demonstrate.
Several years, Supercross has been dominated by Bob Hurricane Hanna. His style is unmatched by any other rider.
And sometimes I do hit that stuff and fly all over. But to me, it's natural to try to save the bike, not to crash. You don't want to crash. You can't win if you crash. I try to save that thing to the last minute. Ride a motocross track, you learn that track, and then you'd have to think about using the front brake. You'd have to think about going through the berm, leaning, gassing and coming out of the corner. I like it over here. I like being with people I can talk to, play with, go riding anytime I want, anywhere I want. A lot of friends over here. I'd rather just race over here and say I'm a motocross racer. I don't really care to be the world champion motocross racer.
The Yamaha YZ125 is a popular motocross motorcycle that has a rich history in the world of off-road racing. Here is a brief overview of its history. The Yamaha YZ125 was first introduced in 1974 as a lightweight motocross bike designed for competitive racing. It featured a two-stroke engine and a compact frame, making it nimble and maneuverable on the track. It shared similarities with Yamaha's an X125 and an X100 models, but had more power, lighter components, and a unique tank strap. 1975-1976, Yamaha made improvements to the YZ125, including the introduction of monoshock rear suspension and a more compact engine. 1977, big new look for the YZ. It got a plastic tank, a radial fin head, and an offset front axle. 1980, without any real explanation, Yamaha decided to reverse the motor, moving the output shaft to the right-hand side. 1981. Almost 5 years after tempting the world with a glimpse of Bob Hanna's factory Alta 7, Yamaha finally came out with the goods on a production bike. The 1981 was liquid-cooled and virtually all new. The radiator was mounted on the fork, just like a Hanna's had been. Unfortunately, the first liquid-cooled YZ was a flop. It was blown out of the water by the 1981 Suzuki RM125, which was also liquid-cooled, and featured the full floater rear suspension with rising rate linkage. 1982, Yamaha responded to the full floater by grafting a suspension link between the shock and swing arm, but retaining a nearly horizontal shock orientation. This supplied a riding rate. The most significant feature of 1982 was YPVS, the first power valve. 1983, this was a much better bike. Yamaha finally got the radiator off the steering crown where it adversely affected handling. The shock linkage was moved down, eliminating the crude pivot above the swing arm bolt. 1985, yellow Yamahas officially became a thing of the past. Now that the US got the white and red color scheme that had been common in other markets. The 85 model got a number of interesting features, including the BASS valve, which connected the rear shock valving to the rear brake. 1986, an all-new motor came. The countershaft sprocket was moved back to the left side, which made more room for the shifter and less complication for the kickstarter. The shock location was also changed to a more conventional vertical orientation. 1988, Yamaha finally found some power. The 1988's was reasonably fast. It handled great. The YZ125 was slowly turning into the bike we have today. 1989, new styling came. The new upside-down fork. 1996, everything changed. It got a new dark blue color and a new look. 2002, this was a year of both good and bad for the Yamaha 125. Good because it got a new chassis and slimmer bodywork. Bad because it got a 5-speed gearbox that didn't match the power band. 2005, Yamaha went aluminum with all its YZ. Yamaha had returned to the 6-speed and everyone loved the bike. Despite the fact that it wasn't quite as fast as KTM's 125SX, it still had far superior suspension, handling and reliability. 2008, Yamaha was suddenly alone. Honda, Suzuki and Kawasaki had all given up the 125 chase, choosing to concentrate on 4-strokes. The only other 125s were European bikes like KTM, Husky, and Gas. The YZ125 continued to improve. The fork improved dramatically. And today, the YZ suspension remains its strongest asset. 2015, Yamaha gave the bike new bodywork and new suspension. The fork was upgraded to essentially the same one that came on the YZ125 4-stroke, but with different valving and a smaller axle. 2017, black rims. 2019, blue rims. 2021, the color of the plastic bodywork all in blue. 2020 to 2023 model now comes stock with a force-for carbon reed valve. The rear subframe is redesigned for a more efficient airbox intake design, with air filter access improved via one bolt through the back of the seat. The silencer is also 50mm shorter than in previous years.